Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football. We've got the 3 PM games for you as a watch-along to get involved in. I hope you're all doing well this afternoon because I tell you what, I'm outraged. I'm absolutely outraged. What a bloody disgrace. Have you just seen that Chelsea game? What a bloody... I'm tell you what, I'm glad I didn't do a watch-along for that because, look, I don't care whether you support Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, EastEnders, Coronation Street, The One Show. It's a bloody disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. There should be warrants being filed by the police and Specsavers to storm the bloody VAR control room with badass bastards in, the SAS should be going in there because that is one of the biggest crimes to football I've seen since last week when Casemiro got sent off. The police should be going in there with a warrant and a load of breath testing kits because they must be pissed. They must be pissed to not give a handball for that. Look, I'm probably more angry about it than Chelsea fans who will probably be saying, we didn't play well enough to win it. I don't care about Chelsea. I don't care about Man City. I don't care about Arsenal. This is about football. It's a bloody disgrace. You can't just let these things go anymore. You have to call them out. I 100% think they got it wrong last week with Casemiro. And people will go, you're a United fan, we're not interested. That was injustice. That was a disgrace. This week, it's even bloody worse. I mean, I was trying to think then, why would the referee not give it? And look, West Ham fans, you're not wrong here. Like, the problem is, in football, with stuff like this, West Ham fans will go on the defensive. And they'll go, it happened to us in the other game. They go, your job as a West Ham fan is not to be there to defend the referee. Your job is that you got away with it. Fair play. And if it happened to you, you'd be moaning as well. You got your draw. Maybe you deserved your draw. Not really interested in that. But the decision is a bloody joke. And the fact that we've got the best league in the world, the fact that the Premier League is fantastic, it doesn't make it excusable to have things like that going on. Absolute disgrace. If you've not seen it, I mean, look, I think the referee and VAR have gone, it wasn't going in anyway. So every time someone does a 2-foot tackle, should we not give a red card because they weren't going to score anyway? Like, it's illogical. I don't know what... That referee's dodgy anyway. I forget his name, and I don't want to know his name because I'll just bloody call him out. He's a joke. He's a joker. He was a joker in the Man United game. He's a joker last night in that game. He's a joke. He's an absolute joke. The arrogant way that he goes, nah. Where did you learn how to referee, mate? Because you must have learned it from a book. There is no way in a million years that Soucek needs to do that as well. I've played the game. You've played the game. You can't use the excuse of his supporting arm. He goes down and his arm's out. Brilliant goalkeeping. He's literally tipping it round the post. He can move his hand out the way. We've all played the game. In that situation, you know what you're doing. You just don't stop yourself from doing it. 9 times out of 10, you are going to handball it. It's there. You do it. It's a handball. If you've played the game, it's a handball. You know it's a handball. And it's a disgrace to football that wasn't a handball because now you'll be in a position next week where you go, well, what's a handball then? Absolutely. If you've not watched it, watch it and try and find a way where you can't give a penalty. And the scariest thing is VAR's looked at it again. VAR's looked at it. The referee's had his decision. Ridiculous. I'm disgusted. And as I said, I don't think Chelsea fans will be even that bothered. It's funny though, says Daniel Kirk, and also Mark, if Graham Potter's name was Unai Emery, then the English media would have their pitchforks out, says the HBN. Well, look, in relation to Chelsea, I thought they were. I mean, I'm not here to talk about Chelsea. We're here to keep an eye on the 3:00 games, of course. I'm not here to talk about Chelsea, no. But what I am here to say is that I thought Chelsea played really well for large portions of that game. And I think what happened is they haven't... I mean, it's criminal. I mean, look, Chelsea fans... I think we've all got undesirables in our fan base. Some people would say about me for Man United. Everyone's got a different opinion. Of course they have. But I think there is a bit of a movement to remove Potter from Chelsea from so-called know-it-alls who seem to know next to nothing about football, let alone their own bloody club. It's very, very clear what they're trying to do, and it's probably for views and clicks. But the reality is... I think Potter is a good manager and I think he can be good at Chelsea. You didn't lose the game. You didn't deserve to lose the game. And he hasn't got a striker. He just hasn't got a striker. And I think that's the interesting thing for me. Hasn't got a striker. But, this is a big game. This is Arsenal against Brentford, Leicester against Spurs. Really, really big games, and really, really excited to see what's going to happen in it, because it's about this massive week, this massive game we've got on Wednesday between Arsenal and Man City as well. Ollie would have done better than Potter, says Billy. I think Potter's doing all right. I really do. We're very close to 900,000 subscribers, by the way. I must just say that before the game kicks off. I think we're about 200 subscribers away from 900k. So if you are here and you haven't subscribed, please do get involved with That's Football. We've got a massive week of football coming up for you, by the way, watch-along wise. I mean, there's always daily content on here for you to get your teeth into. But ultimately, it is about the Merseyside derby on Monday night. We'll be live for that. We've also got Champions League football on Tuesday night. We've got Arsenal, Man City Wednesday night. So 3 nights of big football next week on That's Football for Watchalong. So get involved. I will keep you updated on the Leicester game as well. Yeah, there's quite a few 3 p.m. kickoffs, of course, in the afternoon today. We've got Arsenal against Brentford. We've got Crystal Palace against Brighton. We've got Fulham against Forest. We've got Leicester against Tottenham. And we've got Southampton against Wolves. Big, big day in relation to the race for top 4 and the race for relegation, which no one wants to win that race, of course. You want to lose the race for relegation. But we'll keep you up to date with all of them. 3 o'clock games. But featured, we'll be keeping an eye on Arsenal against Brentford, of course. Yeah, very much looking forward to it. And what do you think of Mount's pass, though? I'm very pro-Mount, but that pass was poor. I genuinely enjoy your opinions over Chelsea content creators, says Donny. Look, I genuinely... Look, I might not be right. I might not be right on this, but I do feel that with Chelsea, you've got a scenario where it's very similar to Arsenal. And I would say to Chelsea fans, it's up to you what you do, but I'll probably get proved right on this, and your so-called knowledgeable fans will get proved wrong. Remember Arteta out t-shirts. What a bunch of... You lose your soul when you get that wrong, you know, as a fan. If you're an Arsenal fan who said Arteta out, and you know who they are, or you did an Arteta out t-shirt, and then they're sat there trying to give it the big one now, where's your morals? Like, how can you be there championing sacking that manager, and then 18 months later, oh yeah, look at us, we're going to win the league. Hold that L. And I'm laughing, you know, they beat us, and I had people saying, hold that L, Goldbridge. And I'm like, hold on a minute. It's disappointing to lose to Arsenal, but I'm not interested in your banter. I'm interested in the real Arsenal fans' banter, who backed the manager and stayed by him. You're just a turncoat. You're just a hypocrite. And I would be very, very careful. Not every fan was like that. That's why I said that 8 p.m. No, but that is why with Chelsea, I'd be very, very wary of these fans, experts telling you that Potter's not going to work out this, that, and the other, because I think he will. I looked at that lineup today. Reece James back, Thiago Silva, Badiashile. I still think they need Chilwell over Cucurella. They need someone next to Enzo Fernandez that's better than Loftus-Cheek, but obviously a couple of players are out at the moment. Mudryk, Madueke, and Felix, very good. Havertz. They're a work in progress. Anyway, look, we can talk about lots of things this afternoon. That's what it's all about. But we have got the Arsenal game, which is about to start. We'll also keep you up to date with everything else. And remember, I'm on TalkSport tonight, so if you want to call in, I will be live on YouTube. If you want to call in and have your say on everything that's going on from today's games, I'm sure that VAR thing will feature. We'll be live on YouTube from 7:30 till 9 on the TalkSport channel, but live on national radio if you want to call in and have your say. Looking forward to that. Those headlines, of course, yet to be written in many games, but they have been written in relation to the game today between Chelsea and West Ham. The first game today, 1-1. Top four's looking good, says Daniel. Yeah, I mean, Chelsea and Liverpool don't look like they're going to get it. I think at the moment, top four for me looks a lot like it's going to be Man City, Arsenal, and then 3 from 4 with regards to Manchester United, Newcastle and Spurs. And look, that's up for grabs. Newcastle might be, in some people's mind, consistently the better one to go for. United are getting a lot of injuries. Spurs are inconsistent. It's funny, I did the show last night in London with Ben Foster, and one of the questions from the crowd was, are you going to go and sign for Tottenham? You know, and as I said at the time, that shows how bad things could be for Tottenham if they're going to sign Ben Foster. No, I was only winding him up. But Lloris is out for a long time. Anyway, we're up and running. That's the time if you want to tap it in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're very close to, that's wrong, 889 is not the number. We should be on 899. And then we could be on 900. Please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved. Let's take that. And party. Right, what's going on in the chat, everyone? Yeah, I'm going to go with an Arsenal win today. I'm going to go Arsenal to win 2-0. I mean, Brentford are a very good side. Let's have a look at the team news. The stats carousel hopefully is going round for you. I'll be very disappointed if it's not. Sponsored, of course, by OneFootball, the OneFootball app. You can download it through the link in the video description or the QR code in the top right-hand corner. Free to download, available on Apple and Android. And, of course, it is the place to get all your latest breaking football news, stats and everything. Check it out. Where's my live chat, please? There it is. Arsenal starting off with a lot of possession, of course. Oh, just remembered. Dun, 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 dun. Look at this beauty I've got. If you know, you know. Look at this. Dun, 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 dun. It's a hoodie. It's got all the badges on it. Badge Bridge. NFL Super Bowl tomorrow night. I'm doing a watch along, Prague. I'm doing a watch along. I tell you what, I am doing a watch along, and I've had a load of American sweets sent over that I always get high on sugar. I've got me Dr. Pepper Cherry. I've got Warhead's Blue Raspberry Soda. I've got pizza flavoured Pringles. I've got these bad boys, which apparently the red ones take your breath off. I think these take your head off. Takis Blue Heat flavour, hot chili pepper tortilla chips. I think it's going to be a very hot night tomorrow night. But if you're into the NFL or you're not into the NFL, it's always one of my favourite streams of the year because it's rare that at Sunday, you're up at like 2 o'clock in the morning on a Monday after a Sunday. So yeah, tomorrow night we will be doing the NFL on here. If you want to tune in, and I'll talk you through it. Might become a yearly thing for you. You don't have to watch NFL all year round. It's very easy to get into the NFL, especially the Super Bowl. So looking forward to it. Takis are very spicy, Lola. And apparently the blue ones are even worse. Arsenal are dominating Brentford here, by the way. Absolutely dominating. I don't know. I think the Super Bowl will be on ITV this year because they got the highlights, didn't they? But I normally watch it on Sky. Takis aren't expired. It's all going off there. What's for dinner tonight? I've got them buns anyway. Let me just go through the team news for you because I realise I'm a bit late on this. So Arsenal are lining up as standard, really. They've got their normal lineup out there that they're able to pick most weeks, aren't they? Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Partey, Xhaka, Martinelli, Saka, and then Nketiah. I mean, that's a big reason why Arsenal are doing well as well. I mean, Man United, I don't know what it's like for your club, but Man United very rarely get to put out a stable 11, and Arsenal seem to just put that team out every week. And they're playing a lot of games, but they're still putting that team out every week. I know Jesus has been injured, but in the main, they have been able to do that. Brentford, Raya, keep an eye on him. He's like a number 10 at goalkeeper. Aja, Pinnock, me, Roslov, Janelt, Norgard, Jensen, Henry, and then Mbumo and Tony up front. So that's how they're lining up as well. When is Jesus back, says Justin? I don't know. We've got any Arsenal fans in the chat? I'm sure they'll be able to let us know. But Brentford just having a bit of pressure themselves here. And, yeah, I mean, what a week it is for Arsenal. I can't wait for that game on Wednesday. And I actually hope Arsenal don't get beat by Man City. It'll piss me right off. Oh, it should have been 1-0 to Brentford then, not Brighton. It should have been mid-March for Jesus. Lovely cross into the box. And Brentford did almost score Manuel. I don't really know how they didn't. The cross came into the box. He would have been onside. And it's a terrible miss, I think, by Tony. How does he not score? It's not Tony with the cross, is it? I think it was Mbumo actually who got on the end of the cross from Tony. Ramsdale may have got a hand on it, but they should have scored. They should have scored. That was a great chance for Brentford, and they should have been 1-0 up already. You know, you get chances like that. Are you looking forward to tomorrow's game? Says Destruct. I'm massively looking forward to the next few days. So we've got Man United Leeds tomorrow, Everton Liverpool Monday. Tuesday night, I haven't even looked what Champions League game I'm going to do yet. In fact, I might do that. Wednesday night, Man City Arsenal. Then Thursday night, Man United against Barcelona. It's a brilliant week of football the next few days. Well, it starts today, really, doesn't it? So many good games. Tuesday, well, I'll probably do AC Milan Spurs, but I'll do a double watch along because it's PSG Bayern, so that's going to have to be a double watch along that. AC Milan Spurs might not be that good, so yeah, we'll do a double one on Tuesday. Nathan says, let's say Arteta wins the league, but Howe gets top 4. I feel Howe should get manager of the year because the team's still mid-table at best. What do you think, says Nathan? Well, I would say this. If Arteta wins the league and Eddie Howe gets top 4, but Brentford finished top 6, I think Thomas Frank should get it on that theory. Because I think it's ridiculous if Brentford get top 6. Or Brighton. Apparently Brentford have had a red card. Now, I will come back and confirm that for you. But I'm not 100% sure whether that's correct. That there's been a red card at Crystal Palace. But we'll certainly confirm that for you. If it's true, doesn't seem to be the case. Don't think there is a red card at Palace, no. No red card, no. Marco Silva at Fulham is doing a great job as well, says Ramsino. Yes. The rivalry between Barcelona and Real Madrid is well known, but Man United eSport team just got beat by Barca 5-2. Possible prediction for the coming games, says Pete. It's an interesting one, isn't it? That Crystal Palace and Brighton rivalry really makes me laugh. Because I don't know what it's all about. But there's a bit of pressure on Arsenal. I did a video yesterday. What are we thinking? I think there is a bit of pressure on Arsenal. They've got to win these games, of course. But they'll be thinking about that Man City game and they'll want to play that Man City game. I am doing the Super Bowl, yes, Baltazar. They'll be thinking about that City game. They'll want to win it. They'll want to play it. But, you know, that's the danger when you take your eye off the prize. And Arteta will be very wary of getting them ready for this game today. And Brentford are a very good side. You know, Brentford are not the team you want to be playing at home after losing to Everton and then ahead of a Man City game because you can't take your foot off the pedal. Jude says Chelsea was robbed. Oh, yeah. Disgraceful decision. Absolutely disgraceful. I mean, there's no way in a million years that he hasn't made that. Have you seen my Instagram? I need better footage of that. What a night it was last night. Brilliant. Absolutely superb. I was in London last night. Got the train back this morning. I was hanging around like St Pancras and King's Cross. Did a live podcast with Ben Foster, and we had a few beers before and then a few beers on the stage. But it was a good night. We did a quiz, and just before when we were doing the quiz, there was a question that it was a tiebreaker, and to win the point, 2 people went head to head in a pint drink off, right? And a couple of them spilt it. But the next question I got right to go ahead of Ben Foster. So I got out of my chair, went in his face. I was like, in your face. And as I jumped, I slipped and fell over in front of about 200 people. But luckily, the video's not out there yet. But the video of me winning the keep up competition, not many people can go on stage in front of 200 people and do a keep-up challenge against an ex-Premier League footballer and beat them. And yeah, I'm not having this excuse he was a goalkeeper. The modern goalkeeper, you know, they play like bloody Bernardo Silva. So Goldbridge beat Ben Foster on stage on a keep-up competition. I'll live off that. I'll live off that. It's on my Instagram if you want to see me doing it anyway. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Rate these managers from best to worst: Ollie, Lampard, Steven, or Mark Goldbridge. Thanks, Nathan. Mark seems to be avoiding the Man City topic. Ask me a question about Man City, Jack. I've done 3 videos on it this week. I think people might just be a little bit bored of it. This will make you laugh. I was out last night. I'm not going to name the person because it's not fair. I was out last night and I was slagging off Man City, and this lad at the table said, and I never knew before, he said, "Hey, leave City alone." I went, "You a City fan?" He went, "Yeah." I went, "You've never mentioned that before." He says, "I know, because you get a load of shit for being a Man City fan." I said, "Quite rightly so. When did you start supporting Man City?" They said, "When I was 10. Oh no, I said, "When did you start supporting Manchester City?" He said, "I was 10. And I went, "You're not answering the question. When did you start supporting Man City?" And he said, "When I was 10. And I said, "But what year?" He said, 2010. I was like, "Oh, here we go." I said, "I bet you supported Chelsea before that, yeah?" And he said, "Yeah, I did." So it was 10 years of age, supported Chelsea, and in 2010 started supporting Man City. I said, "You are the biggest cliche. You are the meme. You are the stereotype of what a Man City fan is." And that's a true story. That is a true story. At 10 years of age, he was a Chelsea fan, and in 2010 he started supporting Man City. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. To be fair to Liam Gallagher, he did support Man City before they were good. I've been to Oasis concerts and he never shuts up about him when they were, in the mid-90s. So I'll give him that one. Still 0-0. I think it's still 0-0 in all the games at the moment as well. So no early goals in the Premier League this weekend so far. Obviously, we've seen a terrible decision in the VAR, which will, I tell you what, they'll have to go some to beat that one. It was absolutely terrible. Absolutely rubbish. But we move on. We've got a goal for Spurs, apparently. Spurs have scored a goal. Let's have a see what's happening there. Lots of people are saying 1-0 to the Spurs. I actually fancy Leicester to get something. S7D says Spurs are back, but I actually quite fancy Spurs to... I fancied Leicester to get something today, and it's Bentancur with a tap-in from a corner that came into the box, bobbled about, lands right in Bentancur's feet for a tap-in, and it's 1-0 to Spurs there. So Spurs following up with an early goal at Leicester. Of course, Leicester had a great goal last week, didn't they? There may be an offside. There may be an offside in this. I don't know. Keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that in the chat. Talking about the chat, I'm just about to whack it. Oh, what the bloody hell's going on here? Do that. It's going to VAR apparently. Post-takeover, does PSG become our feeder club, says Summerjet? And this is odd. So Pep came out saying he's staying regardless of relegated, but it's also said he'd leave, says Nathan. Yeah, look, I mean, I don't want this to turn into the Man City show again. I mean, I think we're all bored of Man City, but I did see what Pep said yesterday, and I was quite surprised because he has previously said, if there's any hint of any wrongdoing, he'll leave, but there is a hint of wrongdoing, and he's saying, innocent till proven guilty, and very, bullish, so... As I said yesterday, look, Pep Guardiola is a very clever guy, and he either knows 100% that they're going to get off with it, or they didn't do it, or he's willing to risk his reputation. I pinned the link in the chat there. If you want to, I was talking about live show last night in London with Ben Foster for his Fozcast. We're doing live shows in the international break in March. We've still got tickets in Manchester and London, so if you want to come along, get yourself some tickets while you can. It was a bloody good last night, and with me hosting ours, it's going to be even better. Let me just say, we're doing 2 nights in Dublin, which have already sold out. Got a night in Manchester and a night in London. So if you fancy it in the international break, not a lot else to do, get your tickets. Lovely to see you there. Crowd participation and a good laugh guaranteed. Spurs are still 1-0 up. It's not been given as offside. Says Craig. Craig says how was it even looked at as offside? It is ridiculous. But we've had 15 minutes here, and the best chance between Arsenal and Brentford has actually fallen to Brentford. Jem says, have you got any tips for hangover cure? Yeah, don't drink too much. Do what I did last night. I had about 3 lagers, and then I had a tequila, and I like tequila. Don't bother me. I don't even need the lime or the salt. I had a ginger beer and whiskey, which was lovely, which is probably why my throat's a bit croaky. And then I had a vodka and lemonade, and that was it. Me done. So about 6 drinks. If I have about 6 drinks, I can deal with it. Of course, rivals are Pottering. Don't give donkey opinions if you don't watch us every week. Don't want a manager who rates Gallagher, Havertz. Let's swap managers then, says Vivek. Hey, Vivek, you can have a pop at me if you like. I like Potter. I like Potter. I like what he's doing at Chelsea. I think he will be given the patience. You didn't lose today. You were robbed by a bad decision. You're a work in progress. You need a top quality striker. If you want to be rude and say I don't know what I'm talking about, you're absolutely fine. But I was one of those rivals who was saying Arteta's a good manager when most of the Arsenal fan base was saying sack him. So I think that I think Potter will do well. We'll see. Come back, Vivek. And I tell you what, Vivek, I'll remember your name, because if you are successful in a year's time, we'll all go, remember Vivek. I bet he's not handed his season ticket in and burnt his Chelsea shirt. I bet he's there jumping up and down singing Potter. 1-0 to Fulham against Forest, and it's a goal for Willian. And Forest have apparently made 2 subs already, says Football Lover. Let's just have a look on the website for that. That's interesting. It is 1-0 to Fulham anyway. They have scored, and it's Willian. Willian with the goal. Have a look at the lineups. They have made 2 subs already. Bowley and McKenna went off for Felipe and Worrell in the 7th minute. Was that injury related? I don't know what that's all about. Let's have a look. Yeah, both injured. McKenna went off injured, and Worrell went off injured as well. That's bad luck, isn't it? How's it going for Arsenal, says TSB? I mean, it's a typical sort of home game, really. You know, I'd say Arsenal, obviously you'll see the possession stats going around in a minute. Hamstring injuries, 2 separate hamstring injuries, says SK. That's mad, isn't it? It wasn't even a head collision, it was hamstring injuries. Wow. In the same minute. Wow. But Arsenal, typical home performance from a big side. You know, more of the possession definitely, but chance creation wise, it's what you'd expect. I look at this game and I think Arsenal 2-0. I don't think you beat Brentford 4 or 5-0. I don't think that happens. I think you're gonna have to work for this. And as I said, Brentford had the best chance about 10 minutes ago. So yeah, Arsenal just need to, you know, keep grinding away, I suppose. Nathan says, I don't buy into that guilty until proven innocent, because we all know how they got their revenue. It's clearly cheating. There we go. Willian's goal was beautiful, says Octo. Weezy says it's 1-0 to Leeds. That'd be amazing. They're not playing till 2 o'clock tomorrow. What did Willian do then? He went to Chelsea, then he went to Arsenal, then did he go back to Brazil and then come back to Fulham? So Fulham are winning 1-0 against Forest. Spurs are winning 1-0 away to Leicester. And it's 0-0 here between Brentford and Arsenal at the Emirates in what is a massive week. A massive week for Arsenal this week. Ooh, aye, yeah, Jimmy. It is. It's massive, massive. And that Man City game on Wednesdays. I'm happy to say this. As a United fan, I think we all support our individual clubs. But Wednesday is game of the season in the Premier League. And Man United won't be playing in it, but I'm happy to say that. Well, I'm not happy to say it, but I will agree that game is the biggest game of the season because it's bigger than the Emirates because it's bigger than the Etihad because this is the one where Arsenal are at home. Jean says, "I hope we rip Leeds apart. It'll be a tough game tomorrow. I'll be doing that on the United stand. It'll be a tough game." United picking up a lot of injuries. Leeds looking fresh. We're only 50 subscribers away from 900,000. If you look in the top right-hand corner there, it says 899,000 subscribers. We are 50 subscribers away from 900,000, so we could hit that on air. 900k. That's a big achievement for the community. So make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Chelsea need Ollie, if not Potter, says Tumbleweed. I have a feeling United will win the league. Don't know why. I just do, says Jack. Man City and Arsenal are still yet to play also, says Jack. Nah, if you look at that league table there, it's 8 points ahead of Man United, Arsenal are. And they've still got 2 games. Well, they've got this game and then they've got another game in hand. So, yeah, I don't see Arsenal dropping that many points, really. It's 1-1 between Leicester and Spurs. I do have a feeling that Leicester will get a result today. I do. I really, really do. And, well, it's 1-1 and it's Mendy for Leicester, says Jimmy. Mendy for Leicester. And they're doing well at the moment, Fraser Forster in goal for Spurs could be Ben Foster if they pull their finger out. He's ready to go. He wants that deal. Can Spurs get it done? But no disrespect to Fraser Forster, but I think Ben Foster's better. And I don't know whether he gets anything wrong. Yeah, he shouldn't be conceding that. I'll do a tweet now. From that angle, that's savable, isn't it? If you've seen it, it's savable. 100%. Thanks for subscribing, Dylan. It's a good hit by Mendy. I don't think anybody can deny that, but he's got to do better. It's power that's beating him, and the positional scent is not good. What happens to the football feeling if Ben Foster went to Spurs? I don't know whether that's going to happen. I mean, I'm trying to find stuff out, but I don't know whether it's going to happen. But basically, Lloris is... he's out for a large portion of the season, and basically Spurs goalkeepers are Forster and then a kid. I don't know who's on the bench for Spurs today, actually. Let me have a quick look. So they're trying to get dispensation from the Premier League to bring a goalkeeper in. And look, I'll tell you for free, it's one of the most important areas in the field. If you're trying to have a good season, you need a consistent goalkeeper that you can rely on. And I think Fraser Forster's career is, it's not as good as you would want it to be, is it, in that situation? So Spurs have lined up today with Forster, Tanganga, Dyer, Davies, Porra, Perisic, Højbjerg, Ventanka, Kulusevski, Son and Kane. And the goalkeeper on their bench, I don't even know who it is. Skip's not a goalkeeper, Sanchez isn't, Royal isn't, Richarlison isn't, Danjuma isn't, Sarr isn't, Longley isn't, and Moore isn't. It must be Austin, number 40. He must be a goalkeeper. It's 2-1 to Leicester, It's 2-1 to Leicester. We've got a goal at Leicester here. Let's talk about Chelsea a bit. So they needed a striker, but realistically, who do you think they could have gone for in January? I'm not Nathan, to be fair. I know Chelsea spent a lot of money, but they're not... there wasn't really a striker they could get hold of, if I'm honest. Spurs defence pulled apart. Don't think Forster could do much there. 2-1. Maddison in space on the back post. Makes it 2-1 to Leicester. So Spurs went 1-0 ahead. Spurs went 1-0 ahead. Apparently Southampton are 1-0 ahead. Spurs went 1-0 ahead, and they're 2-1 down, and we've only had 25 minutes in this first half. Lots of goals flying in at the moment. Open game. 4-2 last week, remember? They went behind against Villa twice, Leicester, and they still won. Leicester are a funny team this season. Big chance for Brentford as well. I think it was Tony that time. It was. He had a really good chance. Ronnie's saying it. Brentford almost scored. Probably should have scored. Still 0-0 at the Emirates, but Brentford have arguably had the two best chances, despite having limited possession. But watch out for Leicester. That's all I'm going to say. Watch out for Leicester. They're scoring goals again. They've had a season which is pretty weird in the sense that they go through these patches, don't they, Leicester, where they lose every week, then they'll suddenly win, then they'll start losing every week, and they are too much in... They're in a good place at the moment. 6 goals for Leicester in 120 minutes. Leicester looking like they're quite open. Spurs looking like they're quite open. Could be a lot of goals in this game. I tell you what, it'll be a great result for Man United and Newcastle if Spurs lose today. Leicester have found their form. And guess who's playing Leicester next? Man United at Old Trafford next week. Apparently we've hit 900k. Thanks everyone. Please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Legends. Appreciate it. Great community we've got building here. One day I hopefully will hit 1 million. So please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner and get involved. We're on the road to 1 million now. We've hit 900k. Bada bing, bada boom. Don't forget we've got the... NFL Super Bowl watch along tomorrow night. I hope some of you join us. I love it. It's one of my favourite streams of the year because it's just so different and just a bit of a laugh. Laugh bridge. There's been a red card for Wolves apparently. I don't know what it's all about. No, is it a red card for Wolves or is it a red card for Southampton? There has been a red. There's a red card for Wolves, says Alwix. Lamina is gone. He's gone. So 1-0 down against Southampton, and we've had a red card for a second yellow for Lamina. And this league is the league that just keeps on giving. It is the league that just keeps on giving, isn't it? Because ultimately, I don't even know why they gave him a second yellow. Is it because he argued with the ref? Straight red, yellow. Any thoughts in the chat on that? Just don't really understand. But this is the Premier League, isn't it? This is the Premier League. This is the Super League. Southampton, for me, are going to get relegated. Wolves are doing a bit better. Now they're down to 10 men and they're losing at Southampton. Could be a massive 3 points for Southampton, whose manager, got ridiculed. He said something to the ref and got a second yellow. Thanks, everyone in the chat. That is... You know what? I don't know whether you've ever been in that position, but... I remember playing a cup game. I mean, it's years ago now. Years ago, Bridge. Old Bridge. I was about 15 years... I was only 15... He was only 15 years old. I was only 15 years old. And we're playing this cup semi-final. And I don't know what it was like where you grew up, but basically, in the Nottinghamshire Schools Cups, we played about 4 cups. I don't know why. Because there was no league. I think they did cups. So anyway, long story short, semi-final. If you win, you got to play at Notts County's ground. And when you're 15, that's a big thing, isn't it? So even though Notts County is shite. Playing in the semi-final, really close game. After about half an hour, our striker says something inappropriate, gets sent off. And you're just like fuming. You know, because you're a team. You're a team and an individual's gobbed off. And I don't know what's happened with Lamina there, but it's petulance, isn't it? That's what it is. It's petulance. And it damages you as a team. Liam G says, I'm a Birmingham fan, love Hannibal, but do you think he could be part of United squad next season or out on loan again, says Liam G? Well, you tell me, mate. Do you think he's ready to play first team football in the Premier League? I don't know. Cracking goal. Cracking goal. But it's all going off. Premier League here. Brentford, if they can get to half time, be great for them. They're pushing as well. They're dangerous from set pieces, Brentford, as well. Yeah, you've got to fancy Southampton to beat Wolves now. 1-0 up and Wolves down to 10 men. Of course, Fulham are up against Forest. They're 1-0 up as well. Forest having to sub 2 players with hamstring injuries in the 7th minute. Brentford against Arsenal, obviously half an hour, as you can see. You've got the stats carousel going around with One Football. Make sure you download that for free. Arsenal have had more of the ball. Brentford have had the 2 best chances. And then, of course, Spurs 1-2. They're losing 2-1. Started off 1-0, Bentancur with the goal, but then Mendy, Forster should have done better in goal. No Lloris, of course. And then the second goal, they got carved open. And Leicester looking good for another 3 points. Going off the limited info we have, what's your feeling on who will win the United ownership bid, says Joe? Probably Qatar at the moment. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a sting in the tail. I don't know whether I've missed this. I think I probably have, but there has been a goal in another game as well. No, there hasn't. Martinelli's injured here at the moment. It's still 0-0 between Crystal Palace and Brighton, and of course Arsenal and Brentford. Bournemouth play Newcastle at 5:30 today, and Brighton have scored apparently. Must have just scored. So Brighton have scored. Just waiting for the update on the score. Flash score's a little bit slow here. What do you use? Prem's unreal, man, says Bath. There we go. Brighton's goal, 1-0. You have to be careful. You do have to be careful. You do have to be careful because the any goal can end up being a VAR sometimes, can't it? Like West Ham's winner, which was never a winner. He was miles offside, wasn't he? Scorer of the Brentford goal was Dunk, wasn't it? Sorry, the camera went off there. Yeah, don't forget, I'm on Talk Sport tonight, 7:30 till 9 o'clock. Goldbridge show on Talk Sport. Call in. Much better than the crap they put before. Like Bong Lahore. He'll be talking some crap. He'll be saying that it wasn't a handball by Soucek and he should get man of the match for it or something like that. Mark, hate to bring it up, but what's your opinion on Eric Ten Hag and Mason's chat? Didn't get a chance to join 10 a.m. Spoke about it on there, Aaron. We don't know whether it's true. You know, I think it's a divisive... Look, I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it, and that's probably my stance at the moment. Yeah, so it'll be live on YouTube on the TalkSport channel, and of course you can call in and have your say as well. So looking forward to it. Brentford haven't scored. Sorry, no. VAR are checking the Brighton goal at the moment. Once I was 7 years old, Barter told me, get yourself a lover, will be lonely. Once I was 11 years old. It's not a goal at Brighton, not been given. It's been ruled out. So it's 0-0. VAR said no, this is the problem. So no goal for Brighton. Still 0-0 between them and Crystal Palace. And this is a massive rival. It's a massive rivalry there. Massive rivalry. Live chat and Talk Sport was disabled last week. Sometimes they disable it if there's been big topics. I know they did it a few weeks ago. It might be when the Queen died. They definitely did it when the Queen died. So yeah, sometimes if there's controversial topics, they turn it off all their shows. Score predictions for Merseyside Derby. Well, we'll be doing a watch along on here, Tom. So make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. But the way Liverpool are playing at the moment, Everton have got a chance. Could be a draw. I think a 1-1 draw. Yes, it's 2-1 to Leicester, we know. Just a great week of football. Man United Leeds. I'm doing that on the United Stand tomorrow. That'll be a big game at Elland Road. Exciting. The atmosphere will be great. Yeah, bring it on. Monday, Merseyside derby at Anfield. That'll be a big atmosphere game. Wednesday, Man City at Arsenal at the Emirates. That'll be a big atmosphere game. And then Thursday, Man United at the Nou Camp against Barcelona. These are big games, people. These are big games with big atmospheres. And I'm very excited about them. Of course, and then Tuesday, we'll be doing a watch-along Bayern against PSG. In summer, would you have taken Potter or Ten Hag? No, I would have took Ten Hag, Sid. Carl, welcome to the Members Club. We were never in for Potter. And I've got one thing I will say about this. I like Potter. I do like Potter. But I will concede this. I wouldn't have been saying get him at Man United. And I thought when Chelsea got him, I sort of went, wow, that's impressive. But in the back of my head was like, I wouldn't have done it at United. And that's not that I don't think it'll work, because I think it can work. But I wouldn't have gone for him as a Man United option. Because for me, I think the perfect job for Potter was going to be Villa. I thought that was the next step. You go from Brighton to... And Brighton are brilliant, but you go from a Brighton to a bigger club in relation to stadia and fan base, and try and do what you've done with Brighton with a club like Aston Villa or an Everton. And then if you do that, then you get a Chelsea or a United or an Arsenal job. So I do like Potter and I do want him to do well, but I did think it might be a little bit, a little bit soon. But he's got the job now. I hope he does well. Nathan says, you reckon Mesut would suit this style of football from Arteta? He suited Wenger's football and was crucial. Well, we got rid of him, didn't he, Nathan? So obviously not. Brentford are doing well in this game. I mean, if you look at the stats there, it's 68% possession for Arsenal, but shots 4-5. So Brentford doing... I mean, when Brentford beat United and Leicester at home, I think they had 30% possession in both games. So, I wouldn't take massive amount of notice of the stats of possession, because Brentford are organised and then have the counter punch. That's what they do. Would you take Tony in the Summit United? I'd like him with us, says Nathan. You hear a lot of things, you do hear a lot of things, and you mix in circles where certain people tell you things but don't say that and this, that and the other, and sometimes it's true and sometimes it's not. Arsenal fan, thanks for the 900k. I was told something a few weeks ago about the Tony gambling stuff, and I didn't get a lot of detail, but it was basically like, that's why I didn't go to the World Cup. And when the charges come out, I don't think he'll be going to a big club. So I think, look, you're free to discuss what you want, but from what I've been told, I don't even consider Ivan Toney as an Arsenal striker or as a Man United striker, because I think these gambling charges are still there. And if he's found guilty of them, then he ain't going to be going to Arsenal, is he, or anywhere like that. So I think it's one of those you've got to wait and see what happens, haven't you? Just had a really good shot from distance, though, and Ramsdale would expect to save it and did save it. Nobby says, Arsenal are showing great resilience today, sign of champions. I think they're going to have to do better in the second half, Arsenal. Still got 7 minutes of the first half. But, yeah, he's got to do that. Saeed says, Mark, please take a weekend off. You look absolutely knackered. That's the story of my life, mate. Even if I took a weekend off, I've got 3 kids. I'm going to be even more knackered tomorrow. I mean, God, don't watch the football fill-in on Monday. I've got to be... I'll be up until about at least 3 o'clock in the morning for the Super Bowl. And then I've got to get up at 7 to go and do the football fill-in. So I'm going to be abs. And then I've got to do a watch-along every single night. Oh, I'm setting myself up here, aren't I? I would never have taken Sean Dyche at United, Everton forever. I'm really glad he's got the Everton job, and I hope he does really well, but no. Jimmy, thank you very much for the super chat. Brentford should be 2-0 up. Henry and Timo Toney. Timo Henry and Timo Toney, says Nathan Kearney. It's been a good half from Brentford. I mean, it's not... Actually, I think I said this on my show on Talk Sport last week. I mean, Brentford, Brighton, and Fulham are not in a false position. It's offensive to say that, look at that. You can't expect to play Brentford, Fulham, or Brighton at home and go, oh, that's an easy 3 points. They're doing really, really well. Milo says justice for West Ham after the ridiculous VAR robbery in the reverse game. Yeah, but Milo, I've already said West Ham fans shouldn't be sticking up for VAR. You got away with one and they got away with one at that place, but that doesn't make it right. That's not... I would really, really say, if you're a West Ham fan or a Chelsea fan, don't be going, oh, it equalled itself out. No, what happened is the referees and VAR made 2 abysmal decisions in 2 separate games. You were robbed at their place and they were robbed at your place. That doesn't make it right. That doesn't make it fair. That doesn't equal it out. They're terrible decisions that need calling out. And if I was a West Ham fan, I'd call it out. I'd say, it's bloody ridiculous. And we had it at their place as well. You both should have had the right decision. That's equaling it out, not the wrong one. Dr. Toxis is worried about Arsenal's confidence. They need to win this game. They need to take that confidence and positivity into that huge game against Man City. You're right. This is a good one. United fans, so what are your thoughts on Rangnick to Liverpool as sporting director, says Nathan Allen. I read about that yesterday, Nathan. Thank you very much, Nathan. I read about that yesterday, and just had a picture of Seb playing in the park, playing a bit of football. It's got the Goldbridge hips. Oh, he's only 5. Yeah, Rangnick at Liverpool. We've celebrated 900k subs, Jay Nelson, but thanks for reminding us. I don't think Arsenal look a bit stale, Paul. I think it's respect to Brentford. This should not be a surprise. This was all. I did the video yesterday about biggest tests for Arsenal, and I included Brentford as well. But yeah, I think Rangnick should have been Man United's director of football. Simple as that. Martinelli just had a good chance on the volley. If it had scored it, it would have been a worldie, but just over the bar. Nathan Kearney, thank you, Nathan, with the super chat. He says, João Felix looked amazing once again for Chelsea. Crazy that United wouldn't spend a few more on it. He's a fantastic player, Nathan. And this is why I think Chelsea will come good. I meant to say this before. I looked at their team today. Reece James is back. You've got people like Thiago Silva, who's been low-key one of the players of the season. Just because he plays for Chelsea, he's not getting the shout-out. Badiashile looks like he'll suit the Premier League. They need someone next to Enzo Fernandez. I don't think Loftus-Cheek has ever impressed me, to be honest with you. João Felix, Mudryk, Madueke, and then Havertz. They've got a couple of positions in that team. 3, really. Left back, Cucurella's just not cooking. The player next to Enzo Fernandez needs to be better than Loftus-Cheek or Conor Gallagher, if I'm being absolutely honest. And they need a striker. And most importantly, they need a striker. Chelsea are not going to start losing loads of games. You might draw a lot of games, but you're not going to lose a load of games anymore. But you need goals. Ellen Road will be toxic tomorrow because rivalry in the Premier League for hatred. 2 sides who absolutely despise each other. Nothing else comes close, says JP. Potter #1 trending on Twitter with Chelsea fans wanting him gone. He should have waited for a different job. It's kind of ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you're a Chelsea fan and you want Potter out, bloody hell. Embarrassing. It's not my club. Have a pop at me, I'm not bothered. But I can have an opinion. That's what football's all about. And my opinion is that's a bloody disgrace. But you know what? You'll all be singing his name when he's doing well, just like what happened with Arsenal. We need a show with you and Simon Jordan, says Anthony. It's been mentioned, but look, mate, I don't worry about these things. If you go chasing it, I don't get it. I've had it with like Gary Neville and Rio Ferdinand and people like that. They know who I am. They won't have a debate. And yet they're happy to earn money having a debate. Same with Simon Jordan. Look, it's up to them. Say no, don't do it. Absolutely fine. But it's weird that you're in a space where you give out your opinions every week, but then you decide who you'll have a chat with. It's weird, but let them get on with it. It's not causing us any problem, is it? Leroy Talks Football says, "Hi Mark, do you like American football? And if so, who do you like?" Well, Leroy, I'm doing the NFL Watchalong on this channel tomorrow night. Goldbridge teaches NFL. If you don't know what it's all about, it's going to be a great event. And I've got my hoodie through to wear tomorrow night. The Packers won't, that's the wrong one. The Packers aren't going to be in it. Neither are the Raiders. Neither are the Dolphins. And I don't even know who they are. The Rams won it last year. My team is not the 49ers. Where are they? I did see them earlier. Where are they? We've got 2 Raiders. Whoever made this loves the Raiders. My team's not even on it. They haven't even got the bloody Cowboys. Oh well. Thanks, Leroy Talks Football. Come and get a Sean Dyche. I love the NFL. Me and Woody. Look at all the empty seats at Arsenal already. How many people are going for a wee with 2 minutes added on? Mad. Once I was 11 years old. Sorry, I'm just doing a tweet for half time. What are your thoughts then, everybody? Let me know. Lots to get into. Half times at 3 o'clock. Every game in the Premier League is brilliant at the moment, though, isn't it? Well, not every game, but you know what I mean. Like, I think basically what I was going to say is that, if I'm honest, you know, over recent years, you look at the Premier League fixture weekends and you almost don't care about 70% of them. You know, you keep an eye on the Arsenal game, you keep an eye on maybe the Liverpool game, the United game. You know, I never took any notice of Man City, boring. But I think this year it's like, you know, the Fulhams, the Brightons, the Brentfords, they've made the league so interesting, and the relegation battle is so many people in it. I mean, look, Wolves are losing to Southampton, and they're down to 10 men. If that's 3 points for Southampton, that puts them right back in it. Why don't we ever have a Goldbridge for F1 watch-along? You only need 4 hours of sleep to survive. Come on, pull your finger out, says Sean Valentine. Well, Formula One's not even on at the moment. And so, yeah, it's half-time between Brentford and Arsenal. And Arsenal, I mean, you see these games all the time. You do see these games all the time. Arsenal need to... They need to. I'll read this super chat in a minute. I'm more than happy to expose this. I was doing the. Well, let me come back to it. It's fine. This happens a lot. Arsenal fans. Used to happen with United a lot. Arsenal fans who are old enough will remember as well. Man City, Chelsea. Sometimes at home, against a team like Brentford that's well organised and not going to make it easy for you, you can have a bit of a. Not a bad first half, but a bit of a, you know, just a half like that. You go in 0-0 at half time, and you're like, and then the manager gets you in half time, readdresses you, you know, gives you a rocket up the arse basically, just tweaks the tactics, gets the subs ready, and you go on and win the game 2-0, and then everyone forgets the first half, and that's basically what Arsenal have got to do in the second half. They can't. This game can't turn into staying as a draw. So Kayud, let's give them a shout out. I mean, they're not doing a debate with you. So people like Simon Jordan or Rio Ferdinand or whoever, they're not doing a debate with you because you're not a real Man United fan. You're doing it for the money and the watch along. Okay, Kayud, I would really advise you to just get out, go for a walk, and try and find some peace and happiness in your life, because you've really exposed yourself there as somebody that's very, very bitter. And I've got 7 years of people taking a pop at me, and I know the profile. You're having a really sad, unhappy time, aren't you? You know, I'm here for you. You really are. The fact that you need to live in a world where you make up lies to make yourself feel good is really sad. Get some help, first thing. And second thing, they're not having a debate with me because they're scared. They're scared that if they had a debate with me, I would win. That's why they won't have a debate with me. That's what it is. And they don't need to be scared because they might win themselves. But that's why that people won't do it. I've come across a lot of people like this in life, especially in this industry. They gob off, gob off, gob off, gob off, gob off. But they won't put themselves in a debate with certain people because they think it could be a career ender. And that's why they won't do it. But seriously, if you are one of those negative people who try and, lie about people. I was funny enough, I was doing the Ben Foster podcast last night in London. I don't know whether I've told you, in front of 200 people, and I won the keep up challenge against him. And we took questions from the crowd at the end, and most of them were asking Ben Foster about whether he's going to play for Spurs or not. But this one person actually said, I'm a Nottingham Forest fan. They said they're a Nottingham Forest fan. It was a lot longer than this, and they were basically trying to make out I was a Forest fan. And it was really awkward. I felt bad for them because the audience were just like, it didn't resonate. It wasn't funny. It didn't go down very well because it's an old joke and it's not true. So I tried to make it funny by saying, oh, it's like having Thogden here, because I did a show with Thogden quite recently. He wouldn't shut up about the Forest fan thing. And after the show said, I don't mind you using the Forest fan thing, but it's been used for about 7 years and it's just not true. I just was born in Nottingham, and like most people watching this show now, if you're an Arsenal fan, were you born within 5 minutes of Arsenal, or actually do you live in India or America or Swindon? I don't mind people having a pot, but it's always based on lies and not the truth, is it? So it's not funny. There's funny is banter, isn't it? It's not banter to make up lies and stuff. But there's a lot of Indian Arsenal fans. I tell you what, there's a lot of Irish Arsenal fans now as well. I was in London yesterday, and I was just walking into my hotel, and this Irish lad, funnily enough, because I was going to talk about Ireland, he said, "Can I have a picture?" So him and his mate had a picture, and they were over to watch Arsenal today. They'll be at the ground now. And I said, you know what, when I lived in Dublin, it was 50-50 between Man United and Liverpool. But he said, no, there's quite a lot of Arsenal fans in Dublin now. Kang, thank you very much for the super chat. I was born in Florida, and I'm a huge Man United fan, says Nathan. By the way, in the live chat, I popped it in there. You'll see the bell. Tickets, Goldbridge Tour, March, international break. If you want to come along, doesn't matter whether you support United, it'll be an entertaining night. I did it last night with Ben Foster's podcast thing, but this is going to be my show, couple of hours. I'm really looking forward to it. So if you want to get yourself a ticket, we're in London. Make a week out. London's brilliant. I've not been to London for about 5 months. I could have got the Underground to Marylebone today. I looked on my phone. It said it's a 40-minute walk. And it was along the road past Euston. There's some lovely buildings along there. I said, fuck, I'm going to walk it. I love London. It's lovely. So get yourself a ticket in the live chat and have a couple of nights in London. There's so much to do. Go on the Jack the Ripper walk or the Big Eye, the Big Wheel, London Eye, Big Ben. Look at Big Ben and go on the London Wheel. Don't go on the Big Eye. And we've also got tickets in Manchester as well. So, I'm really looking forward to it. And 2 nights in Dublin as well. Do you still think Man City will win the league? Says Kay. I think there's a chance that they'll win the league. I did a video yesterday. Arsenal fans will know I'm not an Arsenal fan, and I don't want Arsenal to do well. I don't. But I respect what they're doing. They deserve to be where they are. And I'll be honest with you, I want Arsenal to win the league because I don't think Manchester United can win the league. And it's basically, as far as I'm concerned, it's Man City versus Arsenal for the league. So I want Arsenal to win the league. So I think it's a big test. Now, this next 45 minutes is as big a test as Wednesday night, really, because you won't win the league because you beat Man City on Wednesday night. You'll win the league because you go and win a load of other games. So they've got to they've got to go and win. They've got to go and win this second half. Arsenal look deflated and tired, says Christoph. I'm having some doubts regarding their title credentials. If they don't beat Brentford, the pressure will be on even more. But look at the league table there. Brentford are 6th, 8th. I wouldn't moan about it. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised by it. What's this all about? All right, okay. Well, I can't say that on air, can I? I'll get into trouble. It's the goalkeeping situation at Spurs. Mark, since United fan base is so obsessed with English players, why wouldn't we go after Ivan Toney? He would thrive under Ten Hag. 56 goals in 96 games. Stuart, I can only repeat what I said to you before. From what I've heard, I was having that same conversation with somebody a few weeks ago, and they said, and they're quite well informed, they said, I don't see Ivan Toney leaving anybody for a long time because the gambling charges are quite serious. Nobody knows the full depth of what they're about, but the rumours are that they are, well, it's not even a rumour. I think there's 30, isn't there? So I don't think you can even start. As a footballer, you make a brilliant point, Stuart. Brilliant points about Toney, but he has been charged with gambling and gambling charges. And nobody really understands what the reasons for that is. But there's a lot of them. And, I mean, at the end of the day, if you got done with one... So I just don't consider Ivan Toney at the moment because I'm just very much about what I was told. And it's like, just I wouldn't even think about it. But, yeah, good player. What's your opinion on Swindon, says Josh? When I think of Swindon, I just think of Jan Åge Fjørtoft. There we go. Or... The Office. Sports Capital. Sorry, I was just looking for it there. I don't know what you said. What did you say? I don't know what the charges were for Toney. I think it was 30 charges, wasn't it? So Brentford should be winning, says Sanjay. Well, let's have a look at the half times. So at the moment it's 1-1. Oh no, that's full time. West Ham Chelsea. I'm telling you now, check out that VAR decision. I'm going to put it up on a short anyway. My response to it, but what a disgrace of a decision that was for Chelsea. And look, I feel West Ham fans. I'm not being anti-West Ham. Probably did deserve a draw, but the decision was a joke. And I know they had one as well, but that doesn't make it right. It was an absolute disgrace of a decision. Arsenal 0-0 with Brentford, obviously. Crystal Palace 0-0 with Brighton. Brighton had a goal disallowed. Fulham are 1-0 up against Nottingham Forest. That's a big game. Leicester are 3-1 up. I didn't even get that. Iheanacho. Slow Sports Newsbridge. Iheanacho. 45 plus 4 for Leicester. And it's 3-1. And I'm telling you now, that's not looking good for Spurs. I really missed that goal completely. Apologies there. Southampton 1-0 up against Wolves. And we know that was, we know what happened there. Wolves had Lemina sent off for a second yellow card. And they're down to 10 men and they're 1-0 down as well. So slow sports news there. Slow sports bridge. I was out with someone last night and I didn't find it annoying at all, but they basically just spent the whole night using bridge after anything I did. So moody bridge. Oh, funny bridge. And, you think it would make you annoyed, wouldn't you? But yeah, it was... It's now in my head. How can the mighty Liverpool fix their current issues? Will a new midfield solve it, says Johnny. We got a question on the show last night about this from a Liverpool fan, and they were saying, do you think we should sack Jurgen Klopp? And I said, certain managers are beyond being sacked, and Jurgen Klopp should never be sacked by Liverpool because of what he's done. And also, he should be given the ability to walk if he wants to walk. You wouldn't sack him. There might get to a point where Liverpool board call him in and say, look, it's not working, and he walks, but you wouldn't sack a manager that's done that well for you. I think that what you've got to remember is it's really about the appetite that Jurgen Klopp has. He has had this 7-year itch that people talk about all the time, but really it's not. I mean, that's a bit of a myth, I think. It's really about what the motivation of that manager is. Now, if he's still as motivated as he was 5 years ago, then I believe what will happen at Liverpool is what's happened at Man United at many times under Sir Alex, is where you have 3 or 4 really good years with the team, and then you have probably a year or two where it sort of comes to an end and you have to rebuild, and then you have 3 or 4 years again. Klopp just needs to rebuild a team. I'm well versed in this. United fans are well versed in this. Sir Alex Ferguson was with us for many years, so how many teams did we have under Sir Alex Ferguson that were brilliant? Was it 4? You could argue maybe 5, but you have to have the highs and then a couple of years of rebuild and then the highs again, and that's what Liverpool are going to need to do. Whether he wants to do that or not, we'll have to see. Go says, I was born in Malaysia, live in Japan, in love with United since 8. Rooney debut hat-trick, one of my best memories, favourite United player ever. Thanks for the memories, Go. And check your clock, Mark. Yeah, it's well out, isn't it? It's I don't know what it's doing, actually. We need to stop the clock there. But it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good for Spurs here. 3-1 down. They went 1-0 up against Leicester, 3-1 down, and this is not the first time that Leicester have done this. They were behind against Villa twice last week, and they still won 4-2. Went behind to Spurs again, and they are 3-1 up. Leicester have scored 7 goals in a game and a half. 4 goals last week in 90 minutes, and 3 goals in the first half here. Of course, Leicester, fantastic for them. But Spurs, well, the obvious thing will be to have a pop at the goalkeeper, maybe, won't it? Have a go at him, because it's Fraser Forster. It is not Hugo Lloris, because he's out for a while now. So, yeah, interesting to see how that might plan out. Right. Outraged. What a bloody disgrace. Have you just seen that Chelsea game? What a bloody... I'm tell you what, I'm glad I didn't do a watch along for that. I don't care whether you support Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City, EastEnders, Coronation Street, The One Show. It's a bloody disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace. Comedy gold. I don't know who that guy is, but he's just so funny. Where does he get these lines from? He's hilarious. That's my short in response to the Chelsea game, by the way. And yeah, if you saw it, it wasn't good. It was not good. But don't forget tonight, I've got my Mark Goldbridge show on Talk Sport, so call in if you want. We had some brilliant calls last week. Donald says, thanks for the super chat, Donald. He says, if someone put a gun against your head and you had to choose between Brexit No, Donald, sorry. Serious question. If the allegations City are facing were against United and Ten Hag gave him a galvanising bullish answer like Pep, how would you react as a fan, says Luke? I don't have a massive problem with what Pep Guardiola said yesterday, coming out, defending the club and everything like that. All I would say is, if you get it wrong, you're going to look really stupid, aren't you? And not only that, let's not forget that what happens if, I sort of understand why Pep Guardiola has come out and backed Man City, because if he came out and gave any doubt, then that gives, substance to these charges. I mean, ultimately, he's got to come out and be like he was, because if he doesn't, people would go, oh, Pep looks unsure to me. This don't look good to City. City have got to project innocence, and Pep did that really well yesterday. And also, let's not forget, if City get found guilty of these charges, that whacks out 50% of Pep's honours on his Wikipedia page. All those titles, you'll just be classed a cheat. So he's not just protecting Man City; he's protecting himself. I feel for Pep in that sense, because, all right, if City get charged and they get classed as cheats, then people won't respect anything that they've achieved in that time. But Pep Guardiola won't be the one who got the commercial deals. Like, Pep Guardiola asked for players, did well, won titles. So, but no, he's protecting his own Wikipedia page, isn't he, as well? Because if City get found out of wrongdoing, then everything they achieved will never be respected. What would I do if City got found guilty of all charges? Kick them down to the National League. Yeah, I'd expect the same to happen to Man United as well. I know it was very different, but Rangers got booted down to the lowest league, didn't they? So, well, maybe not the National League, but League 2. Put them in League 2. Yeah, you've got to send a strong message. Put them into League 2. The real fans will still turn up. If Man United got kicked down to League 2, I still think United would have 75,000 fans. I don't think they'd go anywhere. Arsenal got relegated to League Two. They still, I think people think that if you get relegated to League Two, you're gonna, no one's gonna watch you. Rangers got relegated down to the bottom, and they were still filling Ibrox. So if you sustainably cheat over many years, then you should go down to the bottom of the league, and that would be League Two. And I'd say the same about United. I wouldn't be happy about it, and I'd be hoping we hadn't done anything wrong. But ultimately, if you cheat, then you should pay the price. That's the whole point of cheating, isn't it? It's like when you're at school and somebody cheats by copying your answers. If you get found out, you should pay the price. Better start by Arsenal here. Saka's just hit one into the side netting. Actually, I think it was a save by the keeper. But Arsenal will be looking to play with a little bit more urgency now. It was a save by Raya. United are on the stock exchange, way harder to get away with those things, says Alan Kenny. And what was disgraceful about the Chelsea game, I didn't watch it, says Ronan. So basically, Gallagher had a shot and Souček was going down and sort of palmed it away with his hand. And the referee said no penalty and VAR backed him up. Yeah, I mean, imagine if Man United or Arsenal did something really bad and got relegated to League Two. It's only 1, 2, 3 years in your back. So, yeah, 3 years in your back. So if Arsenal were in League Two in September, 1 year later you'd be in League One, 2 years later you'd be in the Championship, 3 years later you'd be in the Prem. So you're 3 years it'd take you to get back. I think that's about right. For what was it? These charges with Man City, 2009 to 2018. So 9 years of potential cheating. Well, 3 years to get back in the Prem ain't that bad, is it? Really hope United versus Leeds will be as exciting and as high tempo as the last game, says Nathan. I think it's going to be a cracking game tomorrow, Nathan. I really do. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I think I think it's going to be a really good atmosphere. And same at Anfield on Monday, same at the Emirates on Wednesday. But it's the Emirates right now. That atmosphere needs to rule them on. They've got to get a win here. It just opens the door to Man City. If Arsenal draw here and then Man City beat Villa tomorrow, which I think they will, then it just puts more pressure on what Arsenal are going to do on Wednesday in that home game. A lot more games in the lower league, Serial, yeah. Joseph says, what if Man City are innocent? Well, if they're innocent, then everyone just has to... I don't think any... Well, I've heard a lot of people saying they're guilty. I think it's all about if they're found guilty. Brentford have got a bit of a breakaway here, but terrible ball, and Zinchenko is there to pick it up. Spurs are going to lose, Savage. I mean, look, as a United fan, this is great because I actually said this a couple of weeks ago. The great thing about Man United and Newcastle at the moment is that you can draw the odd game and you still comfortably stay in the top four because there's actually nobody. Odegaard just had a shot straight at Raya. That's another thing as well. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a good goal to beat Raya because he's a good goalkeeper. For Man United and Newcastle at the moment, who is the challenger for top four? There isn't one. Like, if Tottenham's your challenger for top four, things are looking good, aren't they? Chelsea are not going to do it. Liverpool don't look like they're going to do it. And I really respect Brentford, Brighton and Fulham, but they're not going to challenge for top four. So at the moment, this is brilliant for Manchester United and Newcastle because you just can't see anybody. You just can't see anybody challenging. Let's get this stats carousel moving around. That's the stats at the moment. So it's still around 70% for Arsenal. Don't forget, our stats carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. That's the QR code in the top right hand corner. You can download it for free. Get all the latest scores, transfer news and stats on there. It's available on Apple and Android. Download it. Fantastic little app. Links in the video description as well. And Stephen's given us a super chat. Thank you very much, Stephen. He says... Hold on a minute, Brentford have got a bit of a... No, it looks cleared it. Hi Mark, massive fan of yours. Not sure if I didn't understand it all, but there was issues with City since 2009. Why did it take so long to look into it? Says Stephen. I think it's been a 4-year investigation by the FA. These charges, they've been looking at them for 4 years. So, Mackenzie says, do you think United losing to Barca would be a blessing in disguise, considering the fixture congestion? No, mate. Well, by very definition, it could be a blessing in disguise. Of course it could, but also it won't be a bloody blessing in disguise when we're getting beat. So I see your point, but I can't go into it as a United fan going, I hope we lose against Barcelona. No one does that, but it is, I know what you mean. In the context of the wider season, it might be okay. But having said that, it's not like we're being challenged for top 4 at the moment anyway. So why would you want to get knocked out of the Europa League? It's, at the moment it seems to be going all right for United. So, and Ten Hag won't do that. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Oh shit, I've just got to put a log on the fire. And that doesn't mean I'm going for a shit. It could do, though. It could do. Just going to go and put a log on the fire. That really does sound like you're going for a poo. It's like that line out of the In-Betweeners, isn't it? Where Carly says to Simon, can I come and do some homework with you? And he's like, yeah. And she says, that'd be great because we've got the painters in. And he went, oh, does that mean you're on your period? Can't beat the In-Betweeners. But no, I did go and put a real log on the fire because the log's burned down and you need to put it on to keep it burning. Still 0-0. Arsenal, Brentford. Do not forget to tune in tonight on YouTube. I've just seen a headline from a Pratt. Graham Potter is clueless. Clickbait merchant. I mean, just don't even know what to say. Graham Potter is clueless. You've just drawn a game, 1-1. VAR has absolutely screwed you from a penalty which would have won you the game. And yet Graham Potter's clueless. In a transitional season where he's just bought half a team 2 weeks ago, had loads of injuries, hasn't had a pre-season, and is clearly using the next few weeks to rebuild, and he's clueless. I think some Chelsea fans are clueless, to be honest, and it's not even my club, and I find it hilarious, frustratingly hilarious. The same with Arsenal and Arteta fans. I just think it really exposes the football knowledge of people think because it's their club, they know more about football. You don't. You should because it's your club, but who else looks at Chelsea and goes, do you think Graham Potter's clueless? I think you need a striker, but what striker were they going to buy in January? Like, they haven't got a striker. They need a striker. But they're not losing under Potter. They're just drawing a lot. Brentford have got a chance here. Ooh, Tony just wide. Ivan Toney looks like someone who played football, says DC. And after the United game tomorrow, Liverpool will have 3 games in hand. How did that happen and why? It says 3-minute record events. I don't know. Arsenal should win, says Ravens. Brentford, for me, have had the better chances in this game. And I think you've just got to put a massive amount of respect on Brentford, Brighton and Fulham because they are difficult teams to play. I mean, look, Fulham, this is the arrogance of some fans. Fulham got a draw at Stamford Bridge on Friday. Potter out, he's clueless. Fulham have been consistent for 21 games this season. Brentford 0-0 with Arsenal. Arteta out. No, Brentford and Fulham are decent teams who can go to anybody and get results. That's the truth. Know the league that you're moaning about, basically. You know, Brentford at home is not a guaranteed 3 points. Fulham at home is not a guaranteed 3 points. They're genuinely being coached very well. They're well organised and they're decent sides. So I like how I know exactly who you're talking about. What that video is. Yeah, I just I don't know. Still 0-0 here. Do you think Arsenal will win it, Mark? I think I've seen, as I said at half time, I've seen these types of games so many times, and I think if you want to win the title, then yes, Arsenal have got to find a way of scoring. I said it, didn't I, yesterday? I know I'm saying I've said it a lot. I've said it. But I said it yesterday. This is the sort of game where Arsenal will want to win it no matter what. It doesn't matter if you play bad. Peter Ennis has just dropped the kids at the pool. And if Arsenal win it by, I don't know, Saliba's arse, then I'm sure they'll be very happy. But Brentford have done very well. Really well. Of course, great point by Matiala as well. Don't forget, Brentford went to the Etihad and won 2-0. Man United have got Leicester at Old Trafford next week. I mean, the way they're playing, I think that'll be a difficult game. And you know, that's it. Yeah, I think that it's very hard. There's very few Trossard's coming on for Arsenal. There's very few games at the moment where you go, that's a guaranteed home win. Southampton, Bournemouth. I think Southampton and Bournemouth, if you're at home and you're an Arsenal or a Man United, you'd expect to win them games. But apart from that, is anybody else really a guaranteed home win? I mean, you'd hope to be beating teams like Wolves and West Ham and Forest and Leicester, but I don't think they're as guaranteed as people think. And you know, that for me is why Arsenal have been so impressive this year, because they have had this ability of just win, which is what you've got to do if you want to take a title away from Man City. Who's going to win the Super Bowl, says Daisy. I think the Chiefs will win, but I want the Eagles to win. I'm Eagles tomorrow night, but I think the Chiefs will win. Andreas says, when does the Super Bowl start? Be about 11 o'clock tomorrow night. We'll start the stream. So, yeah. Join me on this channel. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner. PSG are 2-0 down in 20 minutes, says Edward. I am doing the Monday game, yeah. Everton against Liverpool. Super Bowl begins at 11:30, yeah. So we'll go live at about 11 o'clock. Looking forward to it. Got me American sweets and me American snacks, because it's American. Thoughts on Spurs losing, says Raj. Is anybody genuinely surprised that Spurs beat Man City last week and then go and lose to Leicester? I mean, put some respect on Leicester's name. They've played really, really well the last couple of games, but yeah, you wouldn't be surprised about Spurs, would you? Just got a super chat here. I'll be there for the watch along tonight. This is Tumbleweed. Yep, talk sport tonight. Looking forward to it. Mark Goldbridge show. Someone's just told me to check a post. Let me have a look. I can't see anything. You can change your mind. I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Well, there'll be a lot of people in that with. I mean, I don't play Fantasy Premier League because I can't deal with Friday night football and it messes me up. But do you like Rihanna, Mark? She's doing the half-time show. She can stand under my umbrella. A Toro. What was I going to say? I can't remember what I was going to say now. Forgot. Yeah, a lot of people, FPL, Fantasy Premier League. Fantasy Premier League. A lot of people had Arsenal players. I think that was a bit arrogant. I do. I think there was people thinking, oh, we're playing Brentford at home 3 or 4-0. Brighton are 1-0 up, apparently. They might have broken... I mean, if Brighton... I tell you what, if Brighton do win today, that would be magnificent. Absolutely magnificent if Brighton win today. I don't know where that puts them in the league, because that won't be as it stands, but I think it puts them level with Tottenham, doesn't it? Mark, thoughts on so-called United fans saying Garnacho is a pimped-up version of Dan James? I don't get the whole criticism. I don't get the criticism of Garnacho, if I'm honest. Yeah, if Brighton get a result, they're playing Crystal Palace. Mayank says, I think you were a bit wrong with Haaland. I think the problem lies with the players not being used to a number 9. Apart from Kev, no one sees his runs, says Mayank. Yeah, well, look, I would agree that there is a transition to be had. No doubt about that. But I do think it's impacting them at the moment. Stuart Gray says it would put Brentford 2 points behind Spurs with a game in hand if they were to win. So yeah, they go 37 because that's not updated next to me yet. And then 2 games in hand. I mean, Brighton are bloody good, aren't they? Are you going to do Bournemouth Newcastle? No, the Hills, because I have to... I'm on TalkSport at 7:30 and I've got to do United stand at 7:15, so I can't be doing a watch-along at that time. Newcastle need to win that game. I mean, look, you never know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bournemouth win, if I'm completely honest. But I think Newcastle have only scored 2 goals in their last 5 games, and I think they've drawn 3 of their last 5 or something like that, or 4 of their last 5. So it's a good weekend to win if you're Newcastle, especially with Spurs losing. Hannibal did well last night, Tom Grant. Garnacho has literally won his games with a couple of his assists, as Nathan. He's literally won his games with his goals, Fulham. You know, and what a goal that was now, when you consider how good Fulham are. At Craven Cottage, late winner just before the World Cup. Carito is starting already. He says, let's laugh at Arsenal. They are looking a little bit... lethargic, aren't they? Not lethargic, I don't think that's right. Nervous? I don't know. What's the word for Arsenal? Only good thing is Spurs are losing, says Zane. I don't think Arsenal are playing bad. I don't think they're playing well. I'd say Arsenal have been a bit average. But I think also that it's just about trying to grind a team down, isn't it? And Brentford are a very good side, so you've just got to you've got to grind teams down. And they have, because Trossard's just scored. There we go. What a bit of play by Arsenal. That's all it takes. You're at home, you grind them down. It's taken, 65 minutes to do it. Arsenal score. That's what you do. I said that was going to happen. I said it was going to happen. I said, hard game, Brentford at home, doesn't matter how you do it. Find a way to score, find a way to win. That's what mental strength is all about from Arsenal. And, fair play, they're 1-0 up. Saw it coming, said it would happen. Brentford haven't done anything wrong, really. Probably could have took their chances a bit. Apparently Ben Tanker's got a bad injury for Spurs as well. I don't know whether that's true from Thomas, but Trossard, what a huge sub it is, says Kai. Exactly, what a great comment that is as well. Big substitutions, This is title-winning form, you know. I've seen United. I've played the game. I've seen United win many a title, and I've seen many games in that title run. You do not play 18 games at home winning 3-0 every week. You get games like this where it's 65 minutes, frustration against a well-organised opposition who want to make it hard for you. And then what happens? 65th minute, you get the goal. And these are the type of games that matter more in a title run than winning 3 or 4-0. 3 or 4-0, easy. These matter more because you've had to graft for it. You've had to show mental strength. You've had to keep at it. And, you know, this if Arsenal win this 1-0, I guarantee for Arsenal fans, this will be a bigger and more important and feel better than if they'd played well and won 4-0. Because it's that mental strength. It's that ability to win when, you know, you don't necessarily deserve to, says Patrick as well. Do Arsenal deserve to be winning? It's not offside. It's 1-0. It's 1-0. It's changed the score. Look, 1-0. Lovely play in the build-up to the goal as well. So there we go. 19 games at home. Sorry, Marty Smith. Sorry about that. So yeah, look, this is how you win titles. And I think it's so important that Arsenal win this game going into that game against Man City, because suddenly, you know, if you're Kevin De Bruyne and Pep, you're watching this now and you're like, oh, we've got to win tomorrow and then we've got the big game. Whereas if they'd drawn today, you'd be buzzing for that Villa game, win that and go and get something. The mentality and in the title race is, you know, it's like scales, isn't it? It's going up and down, up and down. And, you know, Arsenal at the moment are buzzing and Man City are a little bit, you know, could have been us. De Zerbi deserves a huge credit mark taking over from Potter. You can argue they're better than before. Brighton's recruitment is elite at all levels. Mike, I think Brighton are just a fantastically run club. Absolutely fantastic. Actually, I was out last night having a few drinks, and there was a guy who was with us who works at Arsenal, and I think he works in like data and stuff. And he was talking about how it's changed massively over the last few years, and you know, you'd be surprised how different it was to a few years ago, and what people were looking at, and how certain players could just be scouted, and they wouldn't even keep track about how many times they were scouting them. Whereas most clubs now have these computer systems that, you know, go hand in hand with the traditional scouting methods of watching players, but then you've got all these stat systems that come in as well and can direct your scouting, and it's just, you know, it's like when you play Football Manager, but that's not always been the way. And I think Brighton are brilliant at that. You know, however they do their recruitment, it must be so methodical and focused, and it works really, really well. Palace have got a goal. It's 1-1. We were just talking about Brighton, and then Palace have gone and equalised. 1-1 Palace in that rivalry game, and it is a big rivalry. Do you think safe money is on Arsenal to win the titles, as Marty Smith? I think it could be, but on the other hand, I also think that, yeah, I think smart money would be on Arsenal to win the league, but there's still a long way to go. I think we'll know more after Wednesday night. If City, even if Arsenal win this game, if City beat them on Wednesday, I think that almost gives it, presuming City beat Villa tomorrow, if they then beat Arsenal on Wednesday, I think that pushes it back towards City again. Arsenal have just got to keep doing what they're doing. They've just got to keep winning games, game at a time. Excuse me. Spurs are getting battered. I think it's I don't know what's going on in the Spurs game. I think it's 3-1, but some people are saying it might be 4-1. I think it is 4-1. I'll just confirm that, but a lot of people saying 4-1. I mean, it's terrible for Spurs this to be 4-1 down at Leicester, and what's going on here? What's going on? I don't know. It's incredible stuff here, but 4-1 to Leicester. You won't believe it. I can't even believe this. You know, keep a clean sheet against Manchester City and then go and concede 4 at Leicester in what? No time. Defence all over the place. Harvey Barnes, lovely finish. I don't think you can blame the keeper on that. It's just lovely little play. And I tell you what, 8 goals in 2 games for Leicester. Wow. They're back. Against Villa and Spurs. That is... it's just very impressive. I mean, don't you just love the Premier League? It's just so unpredictably brilliant. Two wins in 13 Premier League games. That Leicester goal might be chalked off for VAR. They're looking at it. Apparently, it's goal for Wolves as well. Wolves have equalised. They have. Wow. Wolves have equalised this Premier League season. Absolutely fantastic. They're just trying to... It is 4-1 to Leicester, but they're actually assessing it for offside for Harvey Barnes, which would be a shame because it was a good goal. 1-1 Arsenal. Sorry, 1-1 between Wolves and... God, VAR takes bloody ages, doesn't it? Absolutely ages. And they've given it as offside. It's still 3-1. I think it's still 3-1. We've got a goal at Arsenal. Offside for the Spurs game, but we've got a goal at Arsenal here. It's a goal. It's a goal. It's a goal. And it's Tony. Tony has made it 1-1. Oh, now the scales are back in the other way. Arsenal have fought so hard to get that goal. 8 minutes later and it's 1-1. And Man City are suddenly looking very, very good. 1-1. Arsenal have conceded, and I tell you what, there'll be a lot of one. There'll be a lot of one. There is a lot of ones. We've got 2 ones. There'll be a lot of people who've been watching this saying that is deserved. That is a deserved equaliser across the course of the game. They've played well, and they deserve it. Well, who's gonna lie down and say that's not the case? 1-1 here. 15 minutes to go. Arsenal looking like they'd done the work. Looking like they'd fought to get that goal. And let's just keep a clean sheet. And it's a bit of a scrappy equaliser, really. Bouncing around the box. But this is what Brentford do. They play the percentages. They win the second balls. They're brave. And they end up with the ball in the back of the net. Well, easiest goal if Antonio will probably score this season. He's literally about a metre out and the ball's just landed on his head and it's a nod and it's 1-1. And now we're in for an interesting last 15 minutes. I've played the game, says Mario G. Well, Arsenal need to play the game now. They're checking a VAR here. I don't know what they're checking a VAR for. I think it's going to be offside. I think it is going to be offside. I'm just reading the chat. Oliver says out of a stretch. On the free kick, he's going to be offside. I definitely think it's offside. Well, Randy says not another VAR bullshit crap, but I think the bottom line is, as the cross comes in, he has actually got ahead of play. There's no way that's not going to be offside. As Tumbleweed says, it's offside all day long. No, it's not offside because the player who was offside is not interfering with play. Well done, VAR. Well, not well done, VAR. It's bloody logical at the end of the day. It's not offside. I think what happened is, as the free kick came in, there's a Brentford player who looks like he's going to be offside. So everyone's going, it's offside, it's offside, it's offside. But when the free kick gets hit, the ball goes over them to another Brentford player who heads it back. And he's never active. So it's a goal. It's 1-1. God, the twists and turns for Arsenal fans this afternoon. You almost feel sorry for them, but don't. But they fight to get the goal. They're 1-0 up. They concede an equaliser. They're probably going, that's going to be offside, that's going to be offside. Then they see the ball goes to a different player. It's 1-1. 15 minutes now. Will we get a winner for either side? Brentford. Can we just have a word for Brentford and Fulham and Brighton again? Defying logic again. Brilliant. Although, must admit, Brighton are actually 1-1 with Palace at the moment. Tompkins did equalise in that game. 1-1 at Selhurst Park. You won't believe this. You will not believe what I'm about to tell you. Brighton at Selhurst Park, 74% possession. 74% possession as the away side against Crystal Palace. 13 shots to 5, 6 shots to 1. How are Brighton not actually winning that game? They deserve to, but it's currently 1-1 there, and it's 1-1 against Arsenal as well, between Brentford and Arsenal. What do you think should happen to City, says Angry Collins? Well, let's wait and find out if they get found guilty first. Zane's not very happy. 89p super chat, Zane. Bloody hell, what's happened to you? Hard times. If you know, you know. Mark, Tony might get banned for betting. He might. Arsenal are melting. Nothing ever changes, says Red Adair. Come on, Brentford, says Savage. It's all going on. It's all going on here tonight. It's this afternoon. Tell you what, it's going to be a cracking show on TalkSport. Remember, I'm 7:30 till 9 o'clock, national radio, the Mark Goldbridge show, but it's live on YouTube as well. Don't forget to tune in. We'll be talking about all the day's action and tomorrow's games as well. Arsenal have got to push it a bit now. In other news, Wrexham are winning 2-1. Says decent. I mean, if Wrexham don't get promoted, I mean, how don't you get promoted when you've got all that money? The investments are showing in the EPL this season, says Jermaine Johnson. And I'm from Swindon, Mark. You should come and do a show, says Josh. 12 minutes to score against Brentford. It ain't easy, bruv. It ain't easy. Here comes the Arteta out nurse, says this. Well, you know what? As ridiculous as that sounds, I actually think there will be Arsenal fans saying that. Not many, but I just think it's the modern game. We had it on Wednesday night with Man United. I'm not disrespecting Arsenal fans here. I've seen it with Chelsea fans today. I'm sure we'll see it with some Arsenal fans if they draw. Man United against Leeds, we've been playing really, really well. Won 13 home games in a row. We draw against Leeds, and the negativity was unbelievable. People just can't deal with not winning a game anymore. KMF says Arteta out now. He hasn't won anything. He won the FA Cup, mate, very, very quickly as well, didn't he? Didn't he win the FA Cup in his first few months? Shot just wide, Zinchenko. They'll be feeling the pressure now, Arsenal, though. This is what it's all about. This is what a title race is all about. Thoughts on a system, says Gracie. Thank you very much, Gracie, for your super chat. Thoughts on a system where regulation winners get 3 points, losers nil, all draws go to penalties, and penalty winners get 2 points, loser 1 point. Eliminating playing for draws. Also thoughts on the MLS. Do you like or enjoy it? I don't watch it, Gracie. To be honest with you, I don't necessarily think people would be opposed to what you've said there, but my attitude would be, why do we need to change the point system in the Premier League? Because teams never play for draws. I think in the World Cup it was a problem, but I think in the Premier League we don't have a problem with teams playing for draws. So I wouldn't change the system. It works. Charles says, can you jinx Arsenal and say they will come back? I think Arsenal will win this. I think it's written in the stars that Arsenal are not going to play particularly well today and win it. And I don't think Arsenal played badly. I just think they've struggled to get on top against a well-organised Brentford side again. But I think they'll find a way of winning it. Is this one of the best Premier League seasons in the past 10 years as the HPN? Yeah, definitely. It's just I can't think of a Premier League season, really, that has had... And look, we're only halfway through. It could fall away, but so far, this Premier League season has been really good because it's so competitive. I mean, but is that also, I don't know. I don't think that's anything to do with the World Cup. I think it's just the Premier League is getting stronger and stronger. The money that's in the Premier League for the lower teams means that they can buy really good quality players from abroad, and that makes them stronger. Brentford versus the top five. They've played surprisingly good. A lot of mid-table teams are playing very well this season, says Zeus. Few Arsenal fans on about VAR and should it have been an offside. I think they got it right. There's talk of a Leicester goal here. Well, if it is 4-1 to Leicester, you could argue it could be 5-1 really, because Leicester did score a very good goal that was disallowed and was marginally offside. So it was 4-1 to Leicester. It got called off. It got disallowed. And apparently they've gone and scored again anyway. So apparently it's 4-1. We'll hold our breath on whether it gets reinstated or not. But, VAR has already ruled out a goal for Leicester once this evening. But 4-1. Ketflix says that Fraser Forster is so bad. And it's Harvey Barnes again, says FPL Raj. And Lesnide says this one will definitely count. Again, I don't really want to feel sorry for rival fans, but it must be horrible being a Spurs fan. It really must. You know, you go and beat Man City, deservedly. You go to Leicester, you get absolutely battered. I'm going to message Ben Foster for a laugh. Forster playing shit. Are you having a bath tonight, Mark? I mean, it's a very personal question, but I don't mind people knowing I like a good bath. I bought myself some lovely molten brown bath stuff, so you put it under the tap and it smells nice and it makes it a bit bubble bath. Got a lovely book to read. Might put a candle on. Love it. What's not to like? I mean, I like a shower, but there's nothing like a bath at the end of the day. They're not baths aren't there for hygiene. You know, they're there to relax your muscles. I wouldn't have a bath to, clean areas or orifice, but a nice relaxing bath is nice. Sometimes I have a nice relaxing bath and then I'll jump in the shower just to rinse it off, which is more hygienic. Brush my teeth with warm water. Happy days. Get into bed, put the electric blanket on. Have you ever, I tell you what, I bought Mrs. Goldbridge one of these for Christmas. Weighted blanket. Have you ever tried one of these things? Now, as a man, you probably wouldn't like it, but actually, it's probably quite good for you because they're bloody heavy. It's meant to make you feel like happy or secure or something, but they're pretty good. It doesn't come onto my side of the bed because they're only the size of one person, but I won't lie. Sometimes when Mrs. Goldbridge has got up in the morning, I'll roll onto her side with the weighted blanket, and I'm snug as a rug, me. Win against City, get smacked by Spurs. That's what they are, says Nelly. Exactly. I'm not going to tell you what book I'm reading, Leon, because I've learnt this. I never tell people what Netflix series I'm watching, or it's not always Netflix, or what book I'm reading, because they'll ruin the end. DC says, which sideman has the most ball knowledge? I don't know. I've not been in a position where I could give you that answer. I could say who I think's the best footballer, but that doesn't mean that they're the best ball knowledge, because I know people who are absolutely shit at football, but their ball knowledge is quite good. You know, some people are a bit like that. Statos. Jack says he's at the Arsenal game and the atmosphere is terrible. David says, finish a Rubik's Cube and leave jail or spend a year. That doesn't even make sense. It's not looking good for Arsenal. 5 minutes to go. This would be a great result for Brentford. I will do a match reaction after this, just a little 10-minute thing that I'll upload to the channel. But it's a key 5 minutes here for Arsenal. City play Arsenal on Wednesday, Russ. We'll be doing a watch-along on here. Oh, my God. Taxi for, what's his name? Nathan Jones. Wolves are winning. I am on TalkSport at 7:30, just Rody. Yeah, tune in. Wolves are winning, is what I'm hearing. Wolves against Southampton, and they're winning. Madness in this league. They were 1-0 down, then they were down to 10 men, and they're now winning 2-1. Taxi for Nathan Jones. You know I'm writing the tweet right now. Taxi for Jones? Nathan Jones? Yep, that's me. That is terrible. That is terrible. For Southampton, I thought they were going to not scam themselves 3 points. I thought they were going to get themselves 3 points today. Even against 10 men at home, 1-0 up, they've still managed to lose 2-1. I mean, that is... Give a bit of credit to Wolves as well. That's a renaissance. That's a recovery. They've shown a bit of bite. Pardon the pun. Lepoteu's let the lead off. He's let him go for a run in Southampton, and the tail is wagging. That's enough dog jokes. But yeah, it's 2-1. I mean, that's very impressive to go away from home, to be 1-0 down, to go down to 10 men and then come back to 2-1. It's embarrassing for Southampton. I mean, Nathan Jones' after-match reaction will be quite interesting to listen to. But another amazing day in the Premier League. And you can tune in to TalkSport at 7:30. I'll be on the TalkSport YouTube channel as well. Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. Wolves are a lot better under Lopetegui. Do you buy United kits, says Zeus? Sometimes, mainly classics. For 2-0 to Fulham as well. That's going to be 3 points then. I'm just looking at the league table, you could sense that the way the results are going, even that 3 points for Everton, you're starting to get cut adrift because everyone's picking up points at the moment. I mean, Southampton are gone. Southampton are going to find themselves gone very, very quickly. Bournemouth as well. But that third relegation spot, I mean, Forest and Leicester looked like they were pulling clear. But with Wolves winning, maybe it's going to be about Everton or Leeds and maybe West Ham as well. Some really good results again. But up higher, Fulham go up to 7th. And of course, Brentford would have a good point here as well. Fantastic. 5 minutes at the Emirates. Looks like they're going to drop points at home. Starting to think Man United might be back in a title race now. I'm just looking at fixtures. Yeah, we could. Nah, I'm joking. I wouldn't put us back in a title race yet. Every time we're in a title race, we don't want to be in it. Like the best says, don't jinx it, Goldbridge. I'm not going to jinx it really, but. You know what? It's the people this really benefits is Man City, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Still 3 minutes for Arsenal. Any predictions for the Super Bowl? I want the Eagles to fly. I'm the same as you, Trouser. And yeah, don't forget, Super Bowl watch-along tomorrow is our next watch-along on this channel. I'm doing the Merseyside derby on Monday. We're doing Man City against Spurs on Wednesday. Sorry, Man City against Arsenal on Wednesday. But we're also doing PSG Bayern and Spurs against Milan on Tuesday. So we're basically doing a watch-along every day until Wednesday now on here. Would you take Tony in the summer if we can't get Kane or Osimhen, says Chiri? Yeah, I can only keep repeating this. The offences that Tony is being investigated and charged for are very serious. I don't think he'll leave Brentford based on what I was told 2 weeks ago, because I don't think clubs are going to go anywhere near him if he gets found guilty of what he's done. I mean, he could even face a ban. So I think until Ivan Toney has conclusion of these gambling charges, I find it irrelevant to even talk about him going to Chelsea or Man United or Arsenal. But if he wasn't facing those charges, then yeah, I think you would talk about him going to a club. He's injured at the moment. Disappointing for Arteta. He'd be disappointed that they worked. Yeah, remember, Ivan Toney was charged with 30 breaches of FA betting rules, taking total to 262. Bloody hell. And people are talking about him signing for Chelsea or Man United. Innocent till proven guilty, but until he's proven innocent, then I don't think he's going to be moving anywhere. Where do you think Leicester are going to finish, says Clark? The thing about Leicester is, they're capable of going winning 3 or 4 games in a row, but they're capable of going on losing 5 or 6 in a row. And that's the thing about Leicester. They shouldn't go down, but it just depends what Leicester you're going to get. Must-win game for United to go 7-point clear of Spurs, says Dylan. Yeah, I don't think we will win tomorrow. Could be in a title race if Casemiro wasn't banned, says JZ. Have you heard Potter's comments? I think I'm Potter out. No, sticking for his club. Out now. Sticking up for his club, says Jack. I haven't heard what Potter said. Joshua Harness, you're blocked. Is the 10 million release for Dybala true? I would take him and another striker, says Leo J. Don't know. I wouldn't take Dybala at Man United. Bit of a fight in the Arsenal game. I don't know what's gone on. I don't think there's much going on. What's your opinion on Liverpool this season, says your pals? They're struggling a bit, aren't they? It's all a bit of handbags, really. Just a bit of pushing and shoving. I think he's going to give some yellow cards out. Red, get your red cards out, says Aaron. Well, I hope they review it on VAR, and if there's anybody with who grabs anyone round the neck, then maybe they can get a red card. You know, we want a bit of consistency. Any hands on the neck? Anyone grab anyone by the neck or the collar? Got any red cards for that? Bullshit. Anyone gonna have a look? We need a good 10-minute VAR here to see if anyone grabs anyone's collar. Any headlocks? No, they're not even looking for a red card. The VAR will have been told, don't ever do anything stupid like that again, even though we'll stand by you. It's not looking good for Arsenal. 2 drop points. It has to be 2 drop points, but it's they're still a decent side. So if Man City beat Villa tomorrow, they'd be 3 points behind Arsenal ahead of this big game at the Emirates. There's lots of twists and turns to go. Will Liverpool get top 4? Head, shoulders, knees and toes equals red cards, says Tom Grant. Well, we're well into stoppage time here. It's going to be a draw here for Arsenal, and they would have desperately wanted a win today. They've taken 1 point from their last 6. Josh Brown, you're blocked. I don't know why people keep asking me to read something that's not there. So you're blocked. Bye. And they've missed a handball because they were looking for Casemiro, says Mark McKenna. Saka's just gone down. And he's holding his ankle. I tell you what, it'd be worth it if you have access to that little pushing and shoving between Arsenal and Brentford. It'd be well worth having a look. And if you find anything, just tweet it. You'll get loads of retweets because I guarantee there'll be somebody who's grabbed someone's neck and they won't be getting a red card. HJM still happy with being top of the league. Massive game on Wednesday. What a game that's going to be. We don't want any dodgy decisions in that. Referee's surely going to blow up here. He's gone into the 7th minute of 8th minute of added time, and there was only meant to be 5. Still going, 8 minutes. Marty Smith doesn't even think that they'll get top 6. Christian says that's full time. Do you ever do autographs, says David? Oh, come on, you've got to be a sado to want my autograph. Even I'd admit that. Billy says it's full-time as well. It is full-time. That whistle's coming in. And Mark Goldbridge predicted a draw in this game. Did I? Fair play. He's very good at that. Do you think we should sell Martial, says ZH? That's not for now. It is a draw for Arsenal. They have drawn 1-1 with Brentford, and it really does open an opportunity for Manchester City. But ultimately, you've also got to put the respect on Brentford. That's a great result for them. Possibly an end-of-season video comparing this season's injury accumulation to others. Super League will affect all local football leagues with revenue, says Joshua Lau. There we go. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll do a little reaction to it and put it up in about 10 minutes' time. But that's disappointing for Arsenal. I also want to talk about Potter as well. So we are back tomorrow for the watch-along for the Super Bowl. So make sure you tune in for that tomorrow night. Liverpool, Everton on Monday, Champions League Tuesday, and then Arsenal, Man City on Wednesday. Lots to get involved with on that sports bubble, so make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. And I'm on TalkSport YouTube at 7:30 tonight till 9 o'clock, taking people's calls. Really looking forward to that as well. So hopefully see you in a little bit. Take care, everyone. Speak to you.